Hey, we are coming to you live from Oklahoma City, and this is going to be our first meeting of PIB.
Yeah.
Hashtag PIB, hashtag prayer in business. So let's just start this off with the Lord's Prayer. Okay? Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen.
Amen.
Hey.
That's good.
So, just real quick, that's how Jesus tells us to pray in the Bible.
Right.
So if you guys don't know how to pray, that is a good starting way. That is just a good prayer to learn and to start using every single day. When you wake up, start with that prayer. End with that prayer. And the Serenity Prayer, you can look that up too.
It's simple.
It's easy.
It's a simple prayer. It's an easy prayer.
It is. And it's awesome.
Yeah.
Covers everything.
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 It's good.
So anyway, tell us a little bit about you, Rayson, and let everybody know just, what's up, who you are, how you got here. I know you drove over here, but how did you get here into this show?
I did drive over here.
Yeah.
But, hey, my name's Rayson. Rayson Sanchez. You have to pronounce it Sanchez because it is Latin American.
Yeah.
It don't matter. Hey, man, I'm 34 years old. I've got 16-year-old twin boys, and I'm sitting here today by the grace of God. I should probably be in prison, but I'm not. So, I'll give it a clap for that.
Those boys need you.
They do need me, absolutely. So, hey, my wife and I, we got married at a very young age. We were 16. We got pregnant in high school. A lot of people said, hey, you guys aren't going to be successful. You're not going to make it. Your kids having kids, and I just like, that just fires me up.
Yeah, show them.
It just gets me going.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm here today because the Lord's got more for me. At another young age, I had a gun in my mouth, and I wrote a suicide note. And I said in the suicide note, I'm sorry, Mom, I love you, but I can't take the pressure of life anymore. And really that was the first time I verbally heard God say, hey, Rayson, don't do it. I've got great plans for your life. I mean, I was
amazing.
like 11, 12 years old, wrote a suicide note, and I heard God say, don't do it because I have great plans for your life. That's why I'm here today. That's why I love being around the young kids. My boys are 16. I love being around them and their friends because, man, God's got calling. God has a calling for all the young generation, these young kids, and I get to be part of, developing that and helping these kids go somewhere.
And they're our future. They're our future.
Yeah, they are a future. And that's just a small part of my story. I mean, we could probably sit here for days and weeks and write a book about
and maybe we
our
will.
stories.
Maybe we will one day.
James, tell us a little bit about your story, where you come from.
Okay, so short version is if there was any kind of evil that a person could get into at a very young age, I got into it. And for about 9 years, I found myself just lost, lonely, hurting, and I would do anything in my means to escape the way that I felt. And so after a long bout of that, I found myself in a place that I would never want to go back to.
Amen to that.
Never want to go back to. And I got down on my knees and I begged God, if you will get me out of this deal, I will serve you forever. And I resubmitted my life to Him, and you know what? He held up His end of the deal. So I am committed to serving Him in any way possible. If He asks me to do something, I go do it. If somebody asks me to go speak and tell my story, I go speak and tell my story. If if I can bless somebody, I mean, my wife and I are huge in adoption, in the adoption community. We've got 5 adopted kids. I married way up. He
So
did
did
too.
Yeah.
Hot wife problems.
Hashtag hot wife problems.
Yeah, we have that. And
It's true.
I just 2, I was voted least likely to succeed.
Yeah.
Because I was out there, man. And I used that, if I knew that I could be successful one day if I could ever just get my issues under control. If I could just get that under control. The problem is I could never do that on my own. I had to have God's help. And once I allowed God to enter my life and help me with those issues, He has done nothing but raise me up. And the thing is I sometimes get into fear and I think, oh, where's God at? He seems so far away. And the reality is it's me pulling away. He never pulls away from us.
Yeah, we're good at that.
We're good at it.
Yeah.
And it's not me pulling away from Him. It's not Him pulling away from me. It's me pulling away from Him.
Right.
And so I have to remember how far He's brought me, what He has done in my life. And I try to do that every single day. I carry around pictures of what I used to look like. So I can remember that guy.
Yeah.
That dude that I don't ever want to go back to. And so I just love what the Lord has going for us. I think that He's got some big plans. And we're just excited to get to share with you guys and bless you with this content and with this idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is exciting. James and I, when did we meet?
Well, I think we met at Journey a long time ago, but we've not become really close. I think in the last several months, God's really put us together.
Yeah.
And we've gotten really close.
Well, we both come from the same background, just,
scarily.
Yeah, absolutely. People just saying, hey, you're never going to be successful. You're never going to make it. You're most likely to fail versus succeed. And I think that's where, we've been cut from the same cloth, and our mission, our vision is the same, with just seeing a generation change the world. Not quite sure how that looks like, but I think we'll figure it out.
Hey, so tell us how did PIB, like this idea of #PIB, come into origin, into like, what's up with that?
Yeah. So PIB is prayer in business, #PIB, prayer in business. Kind of funny.
We're from Oklahoma, by the way. PIB.
PIB. Have you ever had a Mr. Pibb?
Yeah.
It's PIBB. Okay,
PIBB.
So, how it came about was, one day I was just praying, and I felt like the Lord say, I've called you to the business realm. I've called you to the business area of, being able to communicate with business leaders in Norman and Oklahoma City and our surrounding, cities, Washington, Purcell, just around the general area. And, Mr. Pibb stuck out to me. I don't know why Mr. Pibb stuck out to me as the drink, but when I saw that, it immediately clicked, prayer and business. So I dropped the B. And I actually had a group of guys in Norman, I would probably say about, 3 or 4 years ago, where we would meet on a weekly basis, and we would just say, hey man, how's business going? What are some pros, what are some cons for what you're doing? Is there anything I can do to help you? And that's how it started. It just started out just relationship, number one. Number two, we would pray for each other's businesses. And then we, at the end, we would just say, hey, what do you need me to do for you this week for your business? And so it just started out as prayer in business, whether you're a business owner, whether you work for the business owner, whether, if you work for somebody, you're working in a business. And the foundation of who we are as human beings requires prayer.
Sure
requires reading the Bible. Do I do it every day? No. Should I? Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm not perfect, though.
No.
I'm not Jesus. I'm racing.
Yeah.
So, it all started with that right there, just praying for other guys and girls in a business that, sometimes in business we hit those roadblocks and those battles of, man, how do I overcome a sale? Or how do I overcome, a subcontractor issue? We're both in the construction industry, so we're relating probably more to construction right now as far as sub and sale and stuff like that. But, first things first, pray about it.
Yes. Invite God into the problem.
Yeah, exactly.
He will help you.
Exactly.
Help us.
You hear it all the time, just pray about it. Pray about it.
And that sounds so cliche, but it is absolutely fundamental in survival. For
Absolutely.
me.
Yeah, me too.
For me. I mean, from where we come from.
Right, absolutely.
Like, he ripped that rug out from under us, and we could only look up.
Yeah. Well, he said it earlier. It's so easy for us to mess up and pull ourselves away from God. We're real good at that. And if we don't put God at the forefront of everything we're doing and putting Him first, man, it makes business hard.
Sure does.
It makes life hard. And so that's what PIB's about.
Yeah.
It's just getting a bunch of people together and, you know, having relationships and just talking about our battles, praying through it, praying for each other, and having fun.
Exactly.
I mean, that's it.
I love it.
So talk about business. We're in tax season right now.
Oh, taxes are due. Taxes are due.
I hate taxes, by the
I
way.
do too. All of my business, so I have 12 LLCs, and all of my businesses that I actually have control of are done. And all of the ones that I do not have control of, they are not done, except for one. The cabinet shop's done. But I don't have any control over that. And so, you know, talking about tax season, I hate paying taxes. I hate paying in. And I will tell you this, a good accountant is worth his or her weight in gold. Okay.
Right.
The problem is, and we are not, you know, disclaimer here, we are not tax professionals. Seek
Nope.
one, you need to seek one.
Yep.
But the reality is we have a lot of experience dealing with them. I have 4 that work on all the different businesses for us, and they are all very different.
Mm-hmm.
Some are better than others. Some aren't lazy, and some are.
Hey, and I would say, just to throw this in there, from experiences, find a tax advisor that is appropriate for your business.
Yes.
Someone that specializes in whatever it is you do.
Mm-hmm. The
Because
area.
The area of expertise. That's important.
Yeah,
Because if
because
they don't understand how you work, it's hard for them to capitalize on the tax opportunities that are there.
That's right. And there are a ton. Speaking of that,
Yeah.
here's a little statistic for you. So 0.05% of that massive tax law, 0.05% is about raising taxes or getting you to pay in. The remaining 99.5% is how to get you out of taxes. That ought to terrify you.
Crazy.
See, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So the reality is that the entire tax code is set up for people to not pay taxes. Now I've got a little thing for you here, okay? And you ask, what is this? This is a cash flow quadrant, and you may or may not have ever seen this before. But what this is these are the people that pay all the taxes, okay? And this pretty much covers every single area of business out there in the United States of America. I don't know about any other country because we don't pay taxes there. We only pay in the origin of initiation of the money. So that would be here. So this right here, E, stands for the employee. They absolutely pay the most in taxes, yet they make the least. They make the least.
Who can relate to that right now?
Who can relate?
I mean,
Hey, drop down in the comments below an E if you're an employee, okay? Drop that down below.
And you know what? Hey, employees are important.
Very important.
Very important.
And they should be paid.
Absolutely, I agree.
Based
I
on,
totally agree.
you know, not everybody has the ability to be a business owner, but if you are an employee, you can still be praying for that business.
Yeah,
And I promise you, God will bless you, and He will honor you in that.
And not
in that
every
scenario.
employee is called to be a business owner.
That's right.
It's a certain.
That's
It
right.
takes a certain type of individual to be a business owner.
That's correct.
So
That is
employees are super important. Drop an E in the
if
line
you're an
if you're
employee. And I have a bunch of employees.
Yeah.
Like 70. So, and yeah, I see what they pay in taxes. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And unfortunately, it's probably more than I pay in, which is not necessarily right. But that's why you need a good tax professional.
That's right.
Okay, this guy right here is the self-employed small business owner. Him and maybe a couple of employees. This guy, these two right here, pay the majority of the taxes. If you're this guy, I'd like you to drop an S in the comments below and let us know that you're this guy, okay? These guys make the most money on the face of the planet. They're the 1%. And they pay the least amount of taxes.
Isn't that crazy?
This is what got me thinking.
Yeah.
I read an article from 2016 about Warren Buffett. Okay, he's like what, the 7th richest dude on the planet, billionaire
With a B.
with a
As
B,
in boy.
with a B,
Billionaire.
billion. Like that is a ton of zeros. I can't even count that high. And he paid on like under $90,000 in taxes on cash earned under $90,000 is what he paid taxes on. So he didn't pay 90 in, he paid on 90, is my understanding. And
That's crazy.
dude, it got me thinking, I'm paying more than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is going on here? But he's got about probably 12 accountants on staff, and that's their entire job, is to figure out how to pack money away and not have to pay taxes on it. So these guys right here are big business owners. Drop a B if you're a big business owner.
Let's go Big B.
Big B's. And then these guys, okay, this is Warren Buffett right here. I, Investors. Investors. Drop an I if you're an investor. If you want to be an investor, drop an I. We've got some ideas coming to you for that. But that's the reality of it. The investors and the big business owners pay the least amount of taxes, yet they make the most money. And that is because the tax law is set up for them to be able to hide money, be able to pack it off into depreciative assets, deductions. I mean, they deduct massive amounts of deductions, just tons of it.
Yeah.
My cabinet shop that I'm a partner in, we took a loss last year. Took a loss. So that means I'm going to have a loss on my taxes. So if I had to pay in, it's going to be deducted. Okay, that's just one.
Yeah, right.
That's just one. We have a ton of depreciative assets that are going to help us alleviate all kinds of taxes. And we can get into that stuff as we go down the road.
But that's why it's important to have a good accountant for your business.
It's
super smart for you to. Even if you're small, self-employed, or even just an employee, you have to file the taxes just like all of us, just like everybody else.
But the majority of the people are getting their information from CNN, H&R Block. You know, you see these
Google.
Jackson Hewitt, Google, and let me tell you what. I mean, I can't prove this, but I think that those things are designed to. I don't think they're designed to give you your deductions you deserve or that you can legally have.
Right.
You know, it reminds me of a story. The very first time I hired an accountant, $2,000. They sent me a bill to hire him for $2,000, and I thought, oh, that is a lot of money. He saved me probably $30.
Oh, well, see, that's worth it.
Dude, I thought,
I
got it.
Yeah.
I know which route I'm going.
Right.
I got to have a good accountant every year. And that was my first experience when I decided to go from having mom do it on H&R Block or whatever, you know, to hiring an accountant to actually take care of that stuff and really advise me in the right way and structuring all of our businesses in a tiered fashion. That way all the money is passed through up to my wife and I.
See, and I've been on the opposite side. That's why I say you got to hire a good accountant. I hired a bad accountant, several years ago, and I paid a lot of money in taxes and hated it. Yeah, absolutely hated it.
Well, you feel like you're getting robbed.
Yeah, I was getting robbed. It was my money.
It is your money, and that's the other thing. Hey, your money is your money. It's not the government's money. It's your money. Spend your money wisely. Use the brain that God gave you to think about and plan and strategize.
Yeah.
Those without vision shall
perish. That's right.
Perish.
Talk about money and God, right? Like, I'm a huge, huge giver. I love being generous. And that's kind of like my goal and my mission. So we kind of talked about this the other day. Yeah. So my wife and I, when we were, let me think about this for a second. This was 2005-ish, 2005, I believe. I was still in college. We had a couple at our church that was going to school at OU. They had one job, one vehicle, and 2 kids, and it was a 3-seater pickup truck. We were having a garage sale, and I told my wife, I said, man, I really feel like we need to give our car away. She's like, what? We need to sell it. Mind you, at that time, I'm going to college. She's going to college. I'm working at a hospital, making maybe $15,000 a year. So I'm the employee, right? And just busting my butt, trying to better my life, better myself. But I was generous, and I acted on what I felt God told me to do, which was give the car away. So guess what? At our garage sale, we called them over, said, hey, here's the title, here's the keys. We feel like the Lord wants us to give you this car. Man, what a huge blessing that is. And so I encourage you to, the money that you do make, be generous with it. God wants to use your money to do something, whether give a car away, buy a house for somebody. I mean, you got to tell that story, though. I mean, since we're talking about it, you don't have to. We can do it later. It don't matter.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in another episode.
Okay, another episode.
Just another episode, because that is a depreciative asset for me.
Yeah.
I get tax relief from that, and so we'll talk about that in another area.
Session. All right, cool. Anyways, be generous.
Be generous. Very.
Be very generous, because God will bless you for it.
That is correct.
All right, man.
I think that's it.
Yeah, it's time to get the day going.
Get the day going. You guys have a great day at work today. We love you. We hope to see you again on the next episode of #PIB Prayer in Business.
Yep. We'll see
you
tomorrow.
This is Rayson, my co-host, James. The other co-host. We're co-hosting.
We're co-hosting.
And hey, have a good day today.
Have a great